The sound of glass shattering echoes through the mansion, piercing the silence like a bullet. A priceless vase crashes to the floor, its shards glistening like the remnants of a broken life. His hands tremble, the rage boiling inside of him like an uncontrollable storm. The opulence of the room, the golden chandeliers, the marble floors, the velvet curtains, means nothing to him. It's all a facade. The walls, once a symbol of power, now feel like a prison. He's trapped. Trapped in a life he never asked for, bound by a name, a legacy, a father who never once told him he was enough. The weight of his father's words pounds in his head. You're nothing without this empire. You're weak. You'll never be what I am. The harsh voice echoes, and with every step he takes through the hall, the mansion feels more suffocating. His father's expectations are a heavy chain around his neck, and no matter how much wealth he has, no matter how many rooms this mansion has, he feels like a prisoner in every corner. He turns down another corridor, his fists clenched. His footsteps are heavy, thudding against the polished floors, each step a drumbeat of frustration. The anger, the rage, it's consuming him. His father's shadow looms over every part of him, and he can't escape it. The mansion is beautiful, yes, but the beauty feels cold, empty, hollow. It's like living in a golden cage. And then, just as he's about to explode again, he sees her. Amara. She's standing there, in the hall, with nothing but a broom in her hands. She's quiet. She's always quiet. The black maid. The one who never says a word, never speaks out of turn. But the moment their eyes meet, everything changes. For a fleeting second, the chaos inside of him stills. The storm that has been raging inside of him slows, just for a moment, as he stares at her. Her calmness cuts through him like a blade, and for the briefest of moments, he feels it, a strange, unfamiliar peace. But the moment passes as quickly as it came. He looks away, his pride too heavy to let him show any sign of weakness. He's not going to break in front of her. Not in front of anyone. Not in front of the help. Not in front of someone who's just there to clean up after him and his family. He's not going to let her see the cracks in the perfect image he's built, the image of a powerful heir to an empire. No. He storms past her, his pace quickening, his breath shallow. He refuses to acknowledge the softness in his chest, the tenderness she brought into his hardened world. Amara doesn't say anything. She never does. Her silence is louder than any words could ever be. She just stands there, watching him walk away, her expression unreadable. But inside she sees it. She knows the weight he carries. She knows the anger, the frustration, the pressure that's eating away at him from the inside. She has seen it before in people who wear their pain on the outside, but his is buried deep beneath layers of pride and arrogance. She knows, though. She sees right through him. The mansion's coldness is everywhere, inside him, inside the walls. He feels it in every corner, every step. He's broken, and there's no one to help him, no one to understand. Not even his father. Not even Amara, the quiet maid. She doesn't matter. He's too far gone to be saved. But what he doesn't realize is that this is just the beginning. His rage has only scratched the surface. His brokenness, his anger, they're just the cracks forming in the foundation of a life that's been built on lies. And he won't be able to outrun them forever. He can't keep running from the truth. Sooner or later, that truth will catch up with him, and when it does, it will bring him to his knees. He retreats to his room, slamming the door behind him. The sound of the door slamming is louder than the vase breaking. The storm inside him is still there, growing, building. His fists are still clenched, but now, there's a new feeling gnawing at him, a feeling he can't shake. It's not just the anger. It's loneliness. He's angry at the world, angry at his father, angry at the life he's been given. But more than that, he's angry at himself. He's angry for being weak. For not being good enough. For not living up to the impossible standards set for him. For being trapped in this gilded cage. And the loneliness, it eats at him. Amara's face lingers in his mind, her calmness, her silence. He hates that it's still there, but it is. The way she didn't flinch when he stormed past her, the way she didn't say a word, didn't cower. She's different from everyone else in this mansion. She's not afraid of him. She doesn't care about his anger. She doesn't care about his name. She's not impressed by the power he wields or the wealth that surrounds him. And maybe that's why it bothers him so much. Maybe it's because she's the one person who isn't intimidated by him. Maybe it's because, in her silence, she's the only one who sees him for who he really is, the broken son of a mafia boss. He slumps into the chair by his window, staring out at the sprawling grounds. The mansion looms behind him, but it's no longer a place of power. It's just a house. A house filled with empty rooms and empty expectations. He's suffocating here, trapped by the very thing he thought would set him free. The rage inside him simmers, but now, there's something else. A question. A quiet whisper in the back of his mind. What if this life isn't all there is? What if there's more to him than what his father has made him believe? The storm hasn't passed. It's only just begun. And it's about to get worse. The kitchen is quiet. The kind of quiet that only exists in places where people come to hide from the world. But the silence is different tonight. It's thick, heavy, like the air just before a storm. In the dim light, Amara stands at the counter, chopping vegetables with a precision that speaks to years of practice. She's always been quiet, always been invisible in this mansion, but tonight, something feels different. It's in the way she holds the knife, the way she moves with such grace despite the chaos that's swirling just outside the kitchen door. Outside, the mansion is alive with the sound of raised voices, the sound of anger, the sound of a family tearing itself apart. Inside, it's just Amara, and the rhythmic sound of the knife against the cutting board. She's used to the noise. Used to the tension. It's been years of working in the shadow of the family she serves, always just out of sight. But tonight, the chaos feels different. It feels more real, more dangerous. And then, the door slams open. It's him, the son. The one they call the heir, the one who thinks he's untouchable. But tonight, his arrogance is gone. Tonight, he's nothing more than a broken boy, lost in a world he doesn't understand. His eyes are wild, his fists clenched at his sides. The mansion feels like it's closing in on him, and he doesn't know how to escape it. Amara doesn't flinch. She's seen this before. She's seen the rage, the tantrums, the outbursts. She's seen the spoiled heir collapse under the weight of his own expectations. But tonight, she doesn't see a spoiled son of a mafia boss. She sees a boy, desperate for something he can't find. Desperate for someone to understand. He glares at her, his breath coming in quick, shallow gasps. "What are you doing here? Don't you know who I am?" His words are sharp, laced with frustration, but they hold a hollow edge. They mean nothing. Amara doesn't respond right away. She doesn't have to. The silence between them is enough. She's used to being ignored. Used to being the one nobody notices. But there's something in his eyes tonight, something that makes her pause. He expects her to cower. To shrink away in fear. But Amara doesn't move. She doesn't flinch. She doesn't give him the satisfaction of seeing her afraid. Instead, she straightens up, her eyes locking with his. She's tired. Tired of pretending she doesn't see the pain beneath his arrogance. Tired of pretending she doesn't know exactly what he's going through. "You think you're the only one who's struggling?" Her voice is quiet, but steady. She speaks not out of pity, but from a place of understanding. She knows what it's like to carry a burden you can't share. She knows what it's like to keep your head down, and just keep going, no matter how much the world tries to break you. "You think your pain is worse than anyone else's?" The words hit him like a slap. He stares at her, his chest heaving, not sure what to make of her calmness. His hands tremble at his sides, and for a moment, he's lost. He's so used to being in control, to being the one everyone listens to. But not her. Not Amara. She doesn't care about his name, his power, or his wealth. She doesn't care about the empire he's supposed to inherit. She only sees him as he is, broken, fragile, and desperate. His frustration builds. It's like a dam that's ready to break, and he lashes out, his voice rising in a frantic fury. You don't know anything about me. You don't know what it's like to be me. To live in this cage. To have everyone telling you who you are, what you're supposed to be. His words are a mix of anger and fear, but they're raw, unfiltered. He's unraveling, and he doesn't know how to stop it. Amara stands still, unwavering. She doesn't raise her voice. She doesn't react to his outbursts. Instead, she speaks, her words gentle but firm. No, I don't know what it's like to be you. But I know what it's like to be invisible. To be dismissed. To be forgotten. To carry a weight nobody else sees. Her gaze softens, but the strength in her eyes doesn't waver. I've carried that weight every day for years. I've carried it for my family. I've carried it for others. And I've learned to live with it. But I don't let it break me. And neither should you. His chest tightens. The anger inside him has nowhere to go now. It just hangs in the air, thick and suffocating. For the first time in his life, he doesn't feel in control. For the first time, he feels exposed. And there, in the quiet of the kitchen, he finds himself trembling, not from rage, but from something much deeper, something that scares him more than anything else. Amara's words linger in the air, but he doesn't respond. Instead, he turns away, his back to her, his breath still ragged. His shoulders shake with the weight of everything he's been holding in, but he doesn't let himself cry. He won't. Not here. Not in front of her. Not in front of anyone. But Amara doesn't move. She stays where she is, standing tall in the face of his turmoil. She doesn't need him to understand. She doesn't need him to apologize. She just needs him to see her, for once. To see that she is not just a maid, not just a help. She is a woman who has fought every day for her dignity, who has survived in a world that constantly tries to erase her. And she knows deep down that the son, this boy who is unraveling before her, will have to fight the same fight. He'll have to learn what it means to stand firm in the face of the world's cruelty. To learn that strength doesn't come from power, but from the quiet resolve to keep going, even when everything else is falling apart. And in that moment, something shifts. The lines between master and servant, between him and her, blur. He's no longer the heir to an empire. He's just a boy, and she's just a woman who understands him more than he ever thought possible. But the tension doesn't fade. It lingers, thick and heavy in the air. Because while he may have heard her words, he hasn't yet learned their truth. And until he does, the storm inside him will keep raging. But Amara will be there, quietly watching, waiting for the day when he finally understands that the real fight is not against the world. It's against the demons inside himself. The night air is cold, biting, sharp. But it's nothing compared to the fire burning inside of him. The fight with his father had been like all the others, loud, angry, filled with words meant to wound, meant to tear him down. His father's voice is still ringing in his ears. You'll never be what I am. You'll never be good enough. His hands tremble, shaking from the fury and frustration coursing through him. He's heard it all before, but tonight it hits different. Tonight, the words feel like a weight too heavy to carry. His footsteps echo as he storms through the halls of the mansion, his heart racing, the walls closing in. The grand rooms, the gold fixtures, the priceless art, it all means nothing. He doesn't care about the mansion. He doesn't care about the empire. It's all empty. Empty promises, empty expectations. He doesn't even know who he is anymore. Not the heir, not the son. Just a boy lost in a world that doesn't care about him. He bursts through the door into the courtyard, gasping for air, his chest heaving. The night sky above is clouded, the stars hidden behind a veil of darkness. The cold hits his skin, but it doesn't numb the pain inside. He stumbles forward, unable to stop himself, and then he collapses to his knees, his body racked with sobs. The tears come unbidden, pouring down his face, as if the world has finally cracked him open. He's broken, and there's no one to fix him. No one who can understand the weight he's carrying. The empire. The expectations. His father's cold, relentless demands. He can't breathe. He can't think. He can't keep pretending like he's fine. For the first time in years, he lets himself feel it all: the rage, the hurt, the loneliness. It's too much. It's all too much. He's not the untouchable heir. He's just a boy, crumbling under the pressure. And then, he feels it. A gentle touch on his shoulder. It's like a spark in the darkness. Amara. He doesn't want her to see him like this, doesn't want anyone to see him like this. But there she is, standing beside him, not with judgment, not with pity, but with something different. Something he's never felt before. She doesn't speak. She doesn't need to. Her presence is enough. And then, she kneels beside him. Slowly, gently, she wraps her arms around him. It's not forceful. It's not rushed. It's simply an embrace, a quiet, steady presence in a world that's been nothing but noise. She doesn't pull away, doesn't hesitate. She just holds him. For the first time in his life, someone sees him for who he truly is: vulnerable, broken, human. His tears don't stop. They pour harder now, like a flood breaking free. The weight of everything crashes down on him, and he doesn't have the strength to hold it back anymore. He can't pretend. He can't wear the mask of the untouchable heir. Not now. Not with her. She whispers in his ear, her voice soft, but it carries an undeniable strength. You don't have to carry this alone. Her words are like a balm on his broken heart. They sink into him, calm and soothing. You're not alone. You never have to be. Her voice, so calm, so understanding, cuts through the storm inside him. It's as if her presence has made the world pause for a moment, just long enough for him to breathe. Just long enough for him to realize that all the anger, all the pain, doesn't have to define him. She doesn't see him as his father does, as the heir to the empire. She doesn't see the wealth, the power, the name. She sees him as he is, a person, a son, a human being with feelings, with fears, with flaws. And in that moment, something inside him shifts. It's small, but it's there. A crack in the armor he's built around himself. He's always believed that his strength came from his name, his wealth, his place in the world. He's always been told that to be strong, he had to stand above everyone else. But Amara's arms around him show him something different. True strength, he realizes now, isn't in how high you stand. It's in how low you can go, how much of yourself you can shed. It's in being able to be vulnerable, to show that you're not untouchable, that you need help. True strength is in the moments when you can let your guard down and let someone else in. Amara doesn't ask for anything in return. She doesn't want anything from him. She simply offers him what he's needed the most: empathy, understanding, a safe space to be himself. And that is more than he has ever received from anyone else in his life. Her kindness doesn't come with conditions. It doesn't come with strings attached. It's given freely, and for the first time, he feels like he doesn't have to prove himself. He pulls away slightly, just enough to look at her. She's still there, still calm, still unwavering. He doesn't know how to process it all. He doesn't know what this means for him, for his life, but he knows one thing: in this moment, he feels like he's finally seen. Like, for the first time in his life, someone understands him. For the first time, someone has stripped away the title, the wealth, the power, and seen him as a person. Not the Mafia boss's son, but just him, just a boy who's lost, a boy who's been fighting a battle he didn't choose. The realization shakes him to his core. The walls that have kept him locked inside this mansion of expectations and anger begin to crumble, piece by piece. It's terrifying. It's overwhelming. But it's also freeing. He takes a deep breath. The storm inside him hasn't completely passed, but for the first time, he feels like he can face it. He's not alone. And maybe, just maybe, that's all he needs to start finding his way out. As Amara rises, she offers him a final look, no words, just a steady gaze. She doesn't need to say anything. He knows. He knows that this moment has changed him, that it's the beginning of something new. Something real. For the first time, he feels the weight of his family's expectations fall away. It's not his father's empire that defines him anymore. It's his heart, his ability to be vulnerable, to embrace his humanity. And that's the moment he begins to shed the armor of arrogance and entitlement. The moment he starts to understand what true strength is. The heavy oak door of the study groans as it opens, its sound a symbol of the weight he's about to carry. The father is seated behind his desk, as he always is, his back straight, his face stern, like a king waiting for his servant to bow. He doesn't look up at first. He doesn't need to. He knows who's coming. He expects the same thing, the son, angry, defiant, still trapped in the same arrogance that has kept him in this gilded cage. But today is different. Today, the son isn't the same. The son steps into the room, and the silence is thick. His presence is quieter now, measured. Gone is the fire of rage, the anger that used to burst out of him like a storm. He stands tall, but not in arrogance. He stands tall in something else, something steadier. The Mafia boss doesn't notice the change at first. He's too wrapped up in his own power, his own delusions, too used to seeing his son as nothing more than an extension of himself. Finally, the father looks up, expecting to see the same rebellious glare he's always known, the same stubborn face. But instead he sees something that stops him in his tracks. The son isn't glaring at him. He's looking at him, yes, but there's no anger in his eyes. No defiance. Only calm. The Mafia boss leans back in his chair, confusion flickering across his face. "What is this, son?" he growls, expecting some kind of outburst, some kind of resistance. But the son doesn't give him that. Instead, he speaks with a quiet strength that fills the room, a strength that hasn't been there before. "I'm done, father," the son says, his voice steady, clear. "I'm done living in your shadow. I'm done living for your empire, for your expectations. I'm not going to be the man you want me to be. I'm going to be the man I need to be." The Mafia boss's expression hardens, his fists clenching. "You think you can just walk away from this? From everything I've built? You think you can abandon this legacy?" His voice rises, filled with the weight of years of control and dominance. The son's words sting, but they don't break him. Not yet. He's used to defiance, used to challenges, but this is different. This is something he can't understand. His son, the one he thought he could mold, is no longer a reflection of his power. He's a stranger. And that realization shakes him to his core. The son steps closer to the desk, his movements slow, deliberate. "I'm not abandoning anything. I'm choosing something else." The words feel like a weight lifted off his chest. "I'm choosing compassion. I'm choosing empathy. I'm choosing self-respect. Those are the things that matter. Not this empire. Not your name. Not your wealth. Those things don't define me anymore." For the first time, the Mafia boss falters. He stands, his fists still clenched, but now there's a crack in his mask. "You're throwing everything away. Everything I've worked for. Everything I've built." His voice cracks, and for a moment, it's not the Mafia boss speaking. It's a man afraid of losing control, of seeing his legacy slip away. But the son stands tall, unwavering. His voice doesn't falter. "No," the son says, shaking his head slowly. "I'm not throwing anything away. I'm letting go of the chains you put around me." He looks his father in the eye, a final act of defiance not born of anger, but of clarity. "I've spent my whole life trying to be what you wanted. Trying to live up to your expectations. But I can't do it anymore. I won't." The father's face is a mixture of anger and disbelief. "You think you can just walk away from this family? From me?" His words are venomous, each syllable meant to hurt, to break. But the son doesn't flinch. "No," the son replies, his voice soft but firm. "I'm walking towards something else. Something that's mine. Something real." The silence hangs in the air for a moment, heavy, suffocating. The Mafia boss stares at his son, and for the first time, he doesn't know who he's looking at. The son he raised, the one who always followed, who always obeyed, is gone. And in his place is a young man, standing tall, not in power, but in something more powerful: truth. The father takes a step back, his anger boiling beneath the surface, but even he can't deny the shift in the room. His empire, his control, his name, they're all slipping through his fingers. The son's words have broken the walls he's so carefully built around him. And then the son does something that shocks the father to his core. He turns, but not to walk away. Instead, he faces Amara, who has been standing quietly by the door, watching. He looks at her, his gaze softening, and then he does something even more unexpected. He acknowledges her. "I couldn't have done this without her," the son says, his voice carrying a weight that the Mafia boss can't ignore. "Amara. She's the one who showed me that there's more to life than just wealth and power. She's the one who taught me what strength really is." The father's eyes flicker with rage, but there's something else there too, something darker. He looks at Amara, his disdain clear. "You're nothing but a servant in this house. What do you know about strength?" Amara doesn't say a word. She doesn't need to. She's always been silent, always been unseen. But now, in this moment, she stands taller than anyone in the room. The son's acknowledgement of her, his respect, speaks louder than any words ever could. The father opens his mouth, ready to unleash his fury, but he's stopped by the realization that he's losing this battle. His son is no longer a pawn in his game. He's a player in his own right. The power dynamics have shifted, and for the first time, the Mafia boss sees that the empire he built, everything he thought would hold his son captive, isn't enough to keep him. The son doesn't wait for his father's response. He doesn't need to. He's already made his choice. "I'm leaving," the son says. "And I'm doing it for me. Not for you. Not for anyone else. But for me." As the son walks out of the study, his head held high, the father stands there, speechless. His empire, his name, his legacy, all of it slipping through his fingers. He's not angry anymore. He's afraid. For the first time, he doesn't know who his son is. But the son knows exactly who he is now. He's no longer the angry, spoiled heir. He's a young man, choosing his own path. A path where compassion, empathy, and self-respect come first. And that's the true transformation. Not the loss of wealth or power, but the gain of something much greater: dignity. The ability to stand in his own truth, unafraid and unapologetic. In the end, the son's journey proves that true strength isn't measured by wealth or status. It's measured by the courage to face your own humanity, and to embrace the power of compassion.